Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve Strickland. I am the owner of Strickland Realty. I wanted to go over something that is vitally important to anyone looking to buy a house today because interest rates are so high, house prices are still high. It is more expensive to buy a house now than it ever has been. So we need to figure out how to get a house, a good house in a good area at the lowest price possible. And that's exactly what we're going to go over today. So let's get into it. All right, so if you guys have been looking for a house for a while or just started thinking about taking a look for a house, you guys will have seen that prices, they've come down in certain areas of New Jersey here, but not in all areas. And they are still significantly higher than they were 2, 3, 4 years ago. You'll also notice that interest rates are significantly higher than they were 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? There was a point where they were under 3%. And now, depending on what day of the week, what week or what month you're watching this video, interest rates currently right now are between 6.5 and bordering on 7, depending on your credit score. So what we need to do is really get back down to the bare bones, figure out exactly what we can do to find the best house for the cheapest amount of money. Now, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, you will have seen some videos on towns that I go over. You'll see, what towns are budget towns. I made a video on that we'll put in the description as well, so you can kind of narrow down in on, what towns might be best for you. But in this video, we are gonna go over everything. So from figuring out what town you wanna go into, to what neighborhood in that town you want to go into, and then looking at the house specifically, things we need to look for in houses nowadays to be able to get them for cheaper than some of the other homes. And this really brings up some of the old sayings or old adages, that my parents and grandparents used to say, and probably your parents as well, where it's things like you don't buy the biggest house in the neighborhood, right? Because what that equates to is you're buying the most expensive house, and this house is more desirable than all the other houses in that particular neighborhood. And that is not really, it's not a great purchase, number one, but it's certainly not how you're going to get a discount on the house. What we're looking for now is the opposite. What we're really looking for now, if you're trying to get the best house, is you're looking for the smallest house in the neighborhood. You're looking for the most outdated house in the neighborhood. And the reason that I feel, so confident talking about this with you guys, besides the fact that I'm a real estate agent and I own my own brokerage, is because last year I bought my own house. And the house that I bought for $100,000 less than any of the other houses that sold in the neighborhood. How did I do that? Well, because I looked specifically for these certain things that I'm gonna go over in this video today. So stay tuned. And so here's what I'm talking about. Kenilworth, let's just use Kenilworth for an example. Kenilworth is, I feel like, a really, really good town. It's not the most expensive town, and it's not gonna be all green. It's not that $800,000 town like Mountainside is. But if you're planning on moving to Kenilworth, you really should check out these crime grades, because you can see a significant difference between this area of Kenilworth and this area. And I'm not saying that this is a horrible area of Kenilworth, right? But if you're just going through and looking at the statistics, statistically it's safer to live in this green area than it would be into this orange and yellow area. And it's just super important because this is, you can see this in towns everywhere. You can take a look and see that there's better, lower crime rate areas than other areas of that town. And so I think that is one of the absolute most important things to look at after you've decided, hey, I want to live in this town, Union. I would rather stay this area if I could, this area if I could, then maybe go over here where crime rate is a little bit more orangey, more reddy than green and yellow, right? So all of those factors play a big role in, where you move, not just the town, but where in the town you move. And that again is a big reason why in all my town videos, you guys see, me check out the crime rate. Okay. So make sure you check that out, because that is very, very, very important in my opinion. All right. So once you have the neighborhood, the area that you're interested in, that you want to move to, what you can do is do a map search. And this is something that we just added to the site recently, and I thought it was important because of this reason. So let's just take Union for example, because that's what we were doing. And let's say you have a limit of 500,000. Let's say 500,000. Obviously, how many beds, right? How many baths, all of this stuff here. But instead of going to the normal search, do the map search. So you can cross-reference your map here of what area you want to be in with what houses are for sale in that area. That's really how we find the best area for the right price, okay? And then now I want to get into more of what to look for in a home that will give you the opportunity to get discounts on that property, or maybe buy a quote-unquote less desirable property because the lack of upgrades compared to houses that are upgraded. Okay, so if you remember the chart, just under the Garden State Parkway was, where we said it was the safest area, right? So if we're looking here, we can even make our own diagram, say, this is the area that we want to take a look at. It'll pop up all of the houses in this area, okay? So that we can, oh look, that's 449 versus 450 or 500, right? So that way it gives you a very, very easy way to say, this is the only area that I want to look in Union, and keep it that way. And then you can actually go and save the search, sign up here so you can log in, and then that will only alert you to houses that are in this particular area. And it's really, again, something we just added, but most of the time if you're looking for houses in Union, you're looking all over Union. Good areas, bad areas, everything. This feature that we just added is a really, really big help for looking in this specific area, which you don't get in most websites. So very excited about that. I think this is the best way for you guys to start looking at specific areas of towns. All right, so after we find the area, we need to find what to look for in a house to be able to get the best price nowadays. So there's not a lot of houses on the market right now. I picked Bridgewater for this example because number one, there's not really any flood zones. If you go to Cranford, you can have houses that are very expensive and the exact same house that's a lot cheaper, but it's cheaper because it's in a flood area. So I use Bridgewater because it's got a lot of listings and it's pretty even throughout. There's some little bit more expensive areas, a little bit less expensive areas, but there's not a gigantic gap like there are in some other towns. So let's just take a look here. This is actually not the highest price, but 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms for $780. And you can see that it's going to be completely remodeled. Most likely this is a flip. Contractor came in and flipped the property. So you can get this 4 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house for $780,000. And just take a look, two car garage. It's more of a split level type of home. But then if you come down here for $450, 2 car garage, this is a bi-level, so very, very close. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms for $450. Talking about a $300,000 difference, still in Bridgewater, right? But just because it's not even that outdated, but because it's not brand new and floor is a bit dated, okay? These are the things that you need to look for. Baseboard heating. And you see it has a window air conditioner here as opposed to central air. When you're looking to find a house that you can get, especially nowadays, again, with the interest rates and the price hikes, these are the things that you should actively be looking for. Wallpaper on the wall. It's a pain to take down, but you can take it down and you're going to save thousands of dollars on the house. The hardwood floors are there, which is awesome. Maybe they're not the shiniest right now, but you can buff them and make them look shiny. Old, outdated wooden frames here, great, paint them white. It doesn't really take any time whatsoever. And these are the things that are going to get you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of discounts. In this case, $300,000. When a lot of people think of Bridgewater, yeah, they think, man, it might not be within my budget. But go ahead and find an outdated house with some things that, are less attractive, like wood paneling in the basement, right? You can paint that. I've done that in some of my other houses. You can fill spackle in these creases and you can paint it as a temporary fix or a permanent fix if you wanted to. Or you can rip it down and put sheetrock. But no matter what you do to make that property look the same on the inside as this property is not going to take you $300,000. It's just not. You're paying a gigantic premium by having this house finished already, okay? There's absolutely nothing. It's a nice house. I'm not saying that it's not a nice house. It's a great looking house, but it's not what you should be looking for if you are really focusing on buying a great house in the best area, which is what I recommend. And I would much rather see you spend $450,000 on an outdated house in a great area that goes to a great school zone, whether you have kids or not, than spend $450,000 on an updated house in one of the highest crime areas with really low school ratings. Because number one, it's going to be better for you and your family, right? Safer, better schools. Here, you can improve things in the property. Okay, you can paint, which is super cheap. You can take down wallpaper, which is just your own physical labor. You can buff and polish these floors, which you can do yourself. These cabinets look pretty good. Maybe throw on a new countertop. But all of these things will then increase the equity of your property, whereas in the other house, you can't increase the equity of your property. So that's what I recommend. You need to look for something that is outdated, has some features that people might shy away from, but is not a broken, crumbling house. If it's got good bones, they say, right? You can do all these repairs, you can upgrade it over time, and you will be much better off than buying a $450,000 completely updated house in a bad area. All right, guys, that is all the information that you really need to know. I do want to go into my own personal story about the house that I bought last year, because I think it's really important and kind of drives home the fact of, hey, I did it myself. This is how to do it. This is what you guys should do as well. So I am going to include a video of my circle here, my circle street, and I'm going to have a lot more videos up on the channel about my house and all the projects and the rehab and everything that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, so when you go through my neighborhood, it's a complex, and it was all built by the same builder, and there's 4 styles of houses here, as you guys can see. And so what did we do? We wanted to live in this neighborhood because of the crime rate, everything that I went over in the video already. And what we did is we picked a house that was big enough for us, but it was also the smallest house in the complex. It was the smallest model of all the models that were built in this particular complex, right? Also, we went and saw a house across the street that was for $150,000 more than this house because it was fully upgraded, brand new kitchen, brand new hardwood floors, everything, but not a finished basement, and I wasn't really, the backyard wasn't what I was looking for. But it was $150,000 more expensive than this house. Same 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, right? A little bit bigger, a little bit, significantly more upgraded or updated, but not worth $150,000 because I didn't want to spend that much money. So again, we bought the cheapest, most outdated, smallest house in the best area, and that's what I'm recommending everybody do. So we have wallpaper throughout the entire property. that I need to take down. I'm in the process of taking down, and we'll have a lot more videos on that. We have green carpet on all the floors. So all of the floors need to be redone, ripped out, and hardwood or laminate or whatever it is that we'll do. That needs to be done. And the kitchen is outdated, so we need to do that. Basically, we're gonna have to update the entire property to get it to match what that property was. Now, if we hired a contractor to do all those things, would that be $150,000? Yeah, probably. It might even be more. But that was never the plan. That was never the goal. We've been here about 4 or 5 months, and we're doing piece by piece. I'm ripping down the wallpaper. I'm painting the rooms myself, and it's going to save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And luckily, myself, my wife, we're not those type of people who say, oh my God, I can't move into that house with this wallpaper. We can't do it. We got to pay somebody to take it down. That defeats the purpose of buying the house, at a discount. You have to be okay, living with it for a couple months and doing some of the work yourself. That's the only reason that we were able to buy this house in this neighborhood, is because we said, this is where we want to be. This is the house that we can afford. It's going to take some elbow grease. We're going to live in an outdated house for a little while. We're okay with that because we want these schools. Kids can go and play in the backyard and not concerned about anything happening to them. We can go walk down the block at 2 o'clock in the morning and feel perfectly fine doing that. So you need your priority list, what's really important to you. And this is the best way to buy a house in mind. I mentioned equity in the video earlier. So by buying a house that needs to be completely renovated, everything that we do in this property is going to be increasing the equity of the property, which then can help us later when we refinance the house, or if we want to take an equity loan or whatever it might be, sell the house, whatever it might be. We're increasing the value of the property by doing these things, whereas in the already upgraded house, you can't. And that's just another reason, another bucket of potential money and potential profit here that makes buying this house makes it make more sense than buying a house that's fully upgraded already. So hopefully that information was very, very helpful to you guys in your purchasing a house journey that you're taking this year or next year. If you guys are planning on buying a house or moving and you would like me to help you with your move, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I would be happy to do so. If you guys like this video and would like to see more content like this to help you in all your real estate needs, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be kept up to date on all the new videos that we post. Until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video.